What if I told you there's a city that's been standing for over 11,000 years? A place that's older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and older than written history? That city is Jericho, located in the West Bank. It's often considered the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with traces of settlement dating back to around 9000 BC. Imagine that, while the rest of the world was still made up of hunters and gatherers, people in Jericho were building walls, planting crops, and building a community. This isn't just a city from the past, it's a living, breathing reminder of how far humanity has come. Today, we're counting down 10 fascinating facts about Jericho that prove this ancient city is more than just a name in history books. From ancient towers to biblical battles, from salty secrets to archaeological wonders, every point brings you closer to understanding why Jericho still captures our imagination after thousands of years. 10. Jericho's age is beyond imagination. Start with the most unbelievable part, Jericho's age. Archaeologists have found evidence that people were living in Jericho as far back as 9000 BCE. That means the city is more than 11,000 years old. To put that in perspective, the Great Pyramid of Giza is about 4,500 years old. Stonehenge is around 5,000 years old. That makes Jericho more than twice as old as those famous landmarks. While most of the world was still moving from caves to huts, Jericho had already become a real settlement. It wasn't just a random camp. People were building homes, growing food, and starting a life there. 9. The Tower of Jericho is one of the first monuments ever built. In the middle of the ancient ruins of Jericho stands a mysterious stone tower. It was discovered in the 1950s and is believed to have been built around 8000 BCE. This makes it one of the oldest man-made structures in the world. The tower is about 28 feet tall and was built using stone tools, which makes it even more impressive. No one is exactly sure what it was used for. Some say it was a lookout tower or part of a defense system. Others think it might have had a religious purpose or been a way to mark time based on the sun. Whatever the reason, it shows that the people of Jericho were not only surviving, they were thinking big. 8. Jericho was a farming hub before most of the world knew what farming was. Long before farming spread to Europe, Asia, and Africa, Jericho was already planting crops. Around 9500 BCE, its early residents started growing wheat and barley. They also domesticated animals like goats. This may not sound exciting today, but back then, it was revolutionary. Instead of moving from place to place to find food, people in Jericho settled down and grew what they needed. This shift from hunter-gatherers to farmers was one of the most important changes in human history, and Jericho was right at the heart of it. Some even call it the birthplace of agriculture. 7. The famous walls of Jericho were real, but not quite as you might think if you've heard the story of Jericho in religious texts. You probably remember the part where the city's walls came crashing down after being circled for 7 days. That dramatic moment made Jericho a symbol of power and miracles. But in real life, the walls of Jericho did exist, and they were very advanced for their time. Archaeologists discovered massive stone walls that date back to around 8000 BCE. These walls are some of the earliest known examples of city fortifications. They were used to protect the city from floods and enemies. The part about them falling from noise, that's up for debate. But their existence proves Jericho was a place people wanted to protect. 6. It sits at the lowest city elevation on Earth. Jericho holds another interesting title. It's the lowest city on Earth. The city lies more than 800 feet below sea level. That unique position gives it a very warm and dry climate year-round. This geography also makes it a great place for farming, especially with the nearby spring providing fresh water. That spring, known as Elisha's Spring, made it possible for people to live there for so long. In a land that's mostly desert, having constant access to water was a game changer. It's one of the big reasons why Jericho lasted while other ancient cities disappeared. 5. It's been destroyed and rebuilt many times. You don't survive for 11,000 years without taking a few hits. Jericho has been destroyed and rebuilt over 20 times throughout history. It has been attacked by armies, shaken by earthquakes, and even abandoned for periods. But each time, people came back and rebuilt it. One of the most famous destructions comes from the biblical story when the Israelites conquered the city. Other invasions came from empires like the Egyptians, Babylonians, and Romans. Despite everything, Jericho kept coming back. That's what makes it so impressive. It's not just old, it's persistent. Point 4, archaeologists have found over 20 layers of civilization. When archaeologists dig in Jericho, they don't find just one layer of ruins. They find many stacked on top of each other like a giant historical sandwich. There are over 20 different layers of buildings and homes. Each layer tells a different story. Some layers show mud brick houses, others reveal temples or graves. You can literally see how human life changed over thousands of years by looking at what people built, what they ate, and how they buried their dead. It's like reading a history book made of stone and dirt. 3. Jericho appears in multiple religions. Jericho is not just important historically, it's also a major site in religious traditions. It appears in the Bible, the Quran, and other ancient texts. In the Bible, it's the first city conquered by the Israelites after crossing the Jordan River in the New Testament. It's where Jesus healed blind men and met Zacchaeus, the tax collector. In Islamic tradition, it's known as Jericho, and it's connected with several prophets. For thousands of years, people have traveled to Jericho for religious reasons. Even today, pilgrims and tourists visit the city to connect with its spiritual past. 2. The Salt and the Dead Sea give it an economic edge. One of Jericho's big advantages has always been its location near the Dead Sea. The high salt content in the area helped in preserving food, making skin treatments, and even trading. In ancient times, salt was incredibly valuable. It was even used like money in some places. Jericho's residents were able to trade salt and other goods with neighboring cities, which helped the city grow. The nearby land is also great for farming because of its fertile soil, despite being in the middle of a desert. That's one reason Jericho was always a key location for trade and agriculture. 1. People still live there today and now. For the most fascinating fact of all, Jericho isn't just a historical site, it's a living city. People still live there. Today, the population is around 20,000 and the city functions just like any modern town. There are markets, schools, homes, and tourists walking through the same paths that people used 11,000 years ago. That's what makes Jericho so special. It's not just about what it used to be, it's about what it still is. You can walk through the ruins of ancient walls and then eat at a cafe nearby. It's a place where the past and present sit side by side. Jericho isn't just the oldest city in the world. It's a place that shows us how strong, creative, and determined people have always been. From its ancient tower to its modern homes, from its massive walls to its deep spiritual roots, Jericho reminds us that history isn't just about what's gone, it's about what's still here. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, give this video a like and share it with someone who loves history. And if you want more stories about incredible places around the world, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.